Vanessa, would you come up and share? This is Vanessa. And Vanessa, we do a Tuesday evening, call it Jumpstart Bible Study that's really connected to the Hope House. And Vanessa has been faithful there, I think, from the very beginning.
Yep.
Yes. This is Vanessa.
My story kind of begins just like everybody else's. It started when I was a kid. I was just like Jamie. I was the fat kid. I was always picked on. I always felt kind of weird in my own body. Other than that, I was a great kid, so I thought. And so I look back on my life, and everything that I got myself involved in was to draw attention away from my home life and just focus it on the good things. So I kind of became this Jekyll and Hyde person. So this went on for years and years, and I became suicidal. And after years of this, I didn't want to live. All I had was the empty shell of a person that I knew. And I was still trying to be the, put on the face, put on the mask, participate in family functions. Oh, Vanessa's fine, nothing's wrong with her. But on the inside, I was still just dying. I felt such self-hatred that I can't even, like Jamie said, it's hard to even describe it today because I look at where I was and I look at where I am and I'm like, thank goodness. I started drinking. I started partying a lot. I wouldn't go home. I'd sleep in my car, and this is in Seattle. You don't do that in Seattle. And then one day in the middle part of July, I did my run. I used to run in lots of layers and binge and purge before, then go run again, then come back. And so I did that. It was a really hot day. I managed to dehydrate myself really bad. And I came home, hit the fridge, had to throw up, so I did that, and apparently I dehydrated myself so bad that I knocked myself out. I fell on the toilet, got a concussion, and I don't know how long I was there, but I woke up, and I can remember my brain telling my body to get up off the floor, but I couldn't move. And I thought, oh, that's really weird. I've always been in control of myself. Why isn't this working? So I managed to get up, and then I fell down again. And I just remember thinking, please don't tell me that I've screwed up myself, that I can't function right anymore. And at this point in time, there's a huge chunk of me missing. The emptiness that was calling to me, I guess, was the lack of Christ in my life. I didn't go to church. I believed, but I didn't know exactly what I believed in. But I thought of myself as a Christian. I had good morals, but that wasn't enough. That didn't fill me up the way I was looking for this. And on Monday, went to work. On Wednesday, I used to be an event director. Now, for anybody that has an eating disorder, we all love perfectionism, and we're all a bunch of control freaks. And if you're an event director for a big event, that is a very difficult position to be in because nothing goes perfectly in that world when you're working with tens of thousands of people. So this job was high stress, to say the least. And so I'm downstairs. We're trying to recruit new team captains, and we're downstairs. I'm making cold calls, and I come across this name, Dr. Greg Jantz, for the center. I had no idea what it was at all. And so I called him, and I was waiting to get transferred, so I heard the little tape in the background till I got to his voicemail. And it said, it started talking about hope, help, and healing for eating disorders, and it scared me, and I hung up the phone. And I thought, this is really strange. I was looking for help, just like Jamie. I got online, couldn't find anything. Then all of a sudden I get this 3 days later, and I'm thinking, this is weird. And so I call back a little bit later, and I leave a message, introduce myself to Dr. Greg Jantz, leave a message, say, call back if you're interested in participating in our event, And, but I remembered aplaceofhope.com, so I went online and I looked, and I remember sitting in my office bawling. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's an eating disorder clinic. And I was just thinking, 3 or 4 days ago, I have a serious problem. How am I ever going to find a place to get help? On August 17th, a month later, after I fell and hurt my head, I gave up everything. I had a best friend of mine who had a little girl who came up to me, and we were at a welcome home party. And here I am, contemplating suicide in the back of my mind, just wanting to be done with this life that I created. And she put her little hands on my face, and she just says, I love you, Auntie Nessa. And here's this beautiful, perfect little creature who could have cared less about anything else in the world other than she loved me. And that unconditional love was such a turning point for me. I carry her picture around on the other side of Dr. Jantz's email, and this is her on that day. So on August 17th, I gave up a 7-year relationship with bulimia and an 8-year relationship with restriction and overexercise. And I started reading this book, and I remember sitting sometimes in the bathroom just crying over my toilet, like just hanging on to it like it was my best friend, and I would just sob and sob and sob like it was an actual person or an animal. And I thought, this is so sad, but I'm so glad that I'm not doing this anymore. And I emailed Dr. Jantz a month later, and he said, Vanessa, so good to hear from you. Thank you for the update. Keep going with your excellent progress. Stay determined as you are. Let me know what you think of the new book. We do have a wonderful seminar coming up on January 18th. I will make sure you have the information. And January 18th was 5 months to the day after I gave up everything. And I came to this very seminar that you guys are at. And I sat here with my best friend. I was like a mule trying to go through the mud, trying to get her. I was like, no way, I am not going to the seminar. I can do this on my own. And you can't. A month after the seminar, I started seeing Tammy. Tammy's in Ohio today, but I'm thinking about her. I've been up there every week for an hour since then. It's been 3.5 years because I got my life back. And I hope that the things that you pick up today, like it did me 3.5 years ago, I hope that somewhere it touches that little hope spot for you guys, because there is hope, and this is the right place to be. These guys have got it down. The team is wonderful. I can't speak enough on the whole staff. And the people that you're going to meet in your groups, sometimes we can sit there and we can yak and yak and yak for hours on end, and we can always understand each other on levels that nobody else can. And nothing you say is going to be strange. Nothing you say is going to be any different than what the rest of us have thought at some point in time. So I can't speak enough of these people. Dr. Jantz and his team really do have it right. And along the way, I also became a Christian, and I was saved about 15 months ago. And my heart finally caught up with my head, and it's made all the difference in the world. Thank you.